Incremental greetings. Today I want to talk about deleting stuff, articles, books from your collection. And I think that's very prominent from SuperMemo users that they have this aversion that, nope, I don't want to delete ever. I want to keep everything in my collection. I will split those into two sections. First is applying done versus just dismissed. And second, straight deleting stuff right away without even making any single flashcard. Or even perhaps just making a few extracts and that's it, and you delete all the branch. So let's start with the first. So let's say I'm reading this about semantic dementia, Alzheimer's, and so on. Perhaps I create an item out of this or a second extract, and then I will apply done. What will happen is that in this case I haven't made any extract. As you can see, it's childless. So this will get deleted. But well, at any rate, that's already an extract itself. But what happens is that the source is already gone. I applied done. In this case, I don't care because this is from this comes from Wikipedia, so it's always there. And I will have an up-to-date version and so on, right? What happens is that people is, no. What happens if I lose context and I don't know what it is and I need to check the source? It's gone in my collection. Well, in that case, if you really need it, you can go and check the actual source. Usually because you are not familiar with incremental reading and so on. I myself did that. I was just dismissing the articles, not just applying done. And then after more than a year applying done, I can tell you that it may sound counterintuitive, but it's the way to go. You really don't want to keep all of the original articles, especially if you're reading a lot and you're using SuperMemo consistently every single day. Your collection will be huge. You will have thousands of articles. So you will be polluting your search. You will be getting lots of hits from content that is read already and processed already and so on. So long story short, I suggest, if you're still don't want to apply done, to do it incrementally. What I started doing is applying done only on the articles from Wikipedia. Pam, pam, pam. Let's see what happens. Oh, I see that it's not a big deal. Oh, now let me do it in other websites. That's the first point. And second, and most of all, that I have done already, and kind of recently, is that I did straight deletions. That includes deleting items, extracts, and even concepts. Why? Because I was just exploring those. So here you have outline of thought. That is a portal in Wikipedia. Look at that, curiosity, emotional memory, how emotion can affect memory, contagion with self-control, self-esteem and so on, problem solving. So I'm just scrolling that. So that's especially useful if you want to, you have a hunch. I think that is interesting, but I am absolutely lacking all foundation of knowledge on that specific field of science or knowledge. So therefore, I'm importing a staff, articles, just for going through that, exploring. The priorities will be kind of low. And eventually, just reading a little and so on, now I realized I really like this. I really want to dig into that. In my case, would be neuroscience. So now I have a concept, neuroscience and cognitive neuroscience. And what I did also is that I imported two books. One about more related to anatomy, but the other is a textbook. I am still working on that. Chapters, So therefore, with a textbook, that I have an aversion to textbooks, is because I have some linearity. I'm not just going into wilderness of internet with little knowledge what it is and what I can find or not, right? Because the issue is that I don't know what I'm looking for, or I don't know what I need in order to understand what I'm looking for, right? So I cannot work out what previous knowledge I need. And since I'm really digging into that, I want a huge deal of neuroscience. I imported a textbook, but I haven't started straight away with a textbook. That is because for me that's a big deal. Now, I also happened the opposite. I was just exploring some topics with portals or just one article that you have the see also. You click on the see also, you import that and rinse and repeat. And therefore is, you know what? I think I have enough. In my case is linguistics. I still have transcription, semantics, and morphology as sub-concepts or specified concepts. But I deleted a great deal, hundreds of articles. And I can show you that to you. Element count, and I select just topics. 120,000 to 112,000. So I deleted 8,000 topics. Keep in mind, most of them are just one article that I imported and then I split it. So perhaps this counts as 20, 25, 15, and so on. So strictly speaking, I didn't download that many. If you have seen some video that how you can check how many Wikipedia articles you have in your collection, it will pop out on the corner. Is that I checked that on the backup and I deleted like close to 1,000 Wikipedia articles. Not a big deal. Why? Because for me it was just browsing. It's like if you go to a restaurant for the first time, you can still always eat the same at home, let's say. And you have a huge deal of variety of food. What do you think you will choose? You don't know if you like this and that. You don't know because everything is novel to you. And as you can see, still it goes even down. That doesn't mean necessarily that I just right-click a branch and I delete the branch right away, which sometimes I actually did that. It's because I do a subset of the most parent topics, the sources, and then I crawl. It's okay, subset, gone. Next repetition of the subset, gone. But what happens that I delete the parent, and sometimes the parent, like this for instance, have children. So I delete all of the children already. And I also have deleted items in the process. And I can also check that. This is for topics. And this is for items. These big changes is because I merged and split the English collection a couple of times. But you can see here, my backup was December 14th. Okay, nice. So that is the day of the backup I loaded. You can see that the quantity of items is increasing, but sometimes decreases. How come? Here I have deleted exactly 87 items. And again, and again, and here again, that's more deep. About almost 100. So overall, my point of view is that it's not something negative. Sometimes deleting stuff is a good thing. First, you don't need that. You no longer need that. The heuristic is the priorities, right? And the one caveat is that you really need to use priorities. But all of that, most of that was imported when I was a newbie. Therefore, priorities are not that well set. So I was getting a lot of the same thing over and over again. And something that I was really interested, not very high, by quite high priority, was unseen. And I had intervals of 1 year untouched. It passed 1 year and I did no single repetition yet after importing. So sometimes less is more. And in the future, if I need it, because I'm lacking the background knowledge, prior knowledge, or it sparks my interest again, I will re-import it. As simple as that. And now my collection is easier to manage because I have less topics.